All right, welcome partners. Thanks for joining this Facebook Live. I want you guys to get some other people to come watch. So tag one of your fellow partners in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. And also, I'm giving you guys lots of prompts right now. Tell us what you're most excited about for PCon. If you're not attending PCon, first of all, why not? Second of all, you need to buy your ticket. You guys, it's less than a month away at this point. It's going to be November 1st through 3rd, virtual or in person. If you're in person, you get to see, of course, myself. Come on. But you also get to see the rest of the partner team and our amazing speakers in person. And that leads me to our guest for today, Walter Bond, and he is here, and he's a Chicago native. He's did college basketball, pro basketball, and he's a motivational speaker. And he says he has more success now versus when he was in professional sports. And he tells me that using a CRM is critical to creating a brand. If you didn't know that, first of all, we need to talk about this whole partner thing. But second of all, aren't you excited to hear him? Welcome, Walter. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Paige. It's my honor to be here tonight.
It's so exciting. So how did I do on your intro? Did I miss anything? Did I leave anything out? Tell our partners who you are, I call this the why should they care?
Right. And that's a great question. And that's one thing that I think has really been the foundation of my career, in that I've had a lot of women, for example, hear me speak and say, oh my God, I almost didn't come because when I heard you were a pro athlete, I thought you were going to stand up here and talk about sports all day. And you didn't. You talked about success. And you're exactly right. And so I don't care if you're into sports or not. It doesn't matter, right? I have a mom who could care less about basketball, right? And so even a couple, my daughter, and what I talk about is success and success principles. And the only thing the NBA did for me is really confirm what it takes to be the best in the world, to be elite. And so now I've made a commitment to going around teaching business leaders, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, what they need to do to become elite in their industry. So it doesn't matter if you're in the sports or not. My message is really about being elite. You think about a shark in the ocean. That's the only fish we worry about, right? Sharks are elite, right, in the ocean, Exactly. And so that's what my message is really about, how to teach people to become elite in their own respective industries.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think that a lot of the success principles probably apply to both sports and business in terms of, getting yourself out there, taking risks, doing awesome things.
And Paige, that's a great point. And for example, when my wife and I started our business, my wife came out of pharmaceutical sales. I had never had a job in my life. I got a chance to play pro basketball until I was about 30. And, I didn't make the big money. I didn't make the money like a Shaquille O'Neal or a
Who's that?
Right. These household names. I tell people I made Walter Bond money, which means, it was obviously a great experience. But after about a year, when I retired, I had to figure out how to make some money, right? And so when we launched our training and development company, and Infusionsoft obviously was right there with us in the beginning, we started getting successful. And people were like, what's your secret? I'm like, what? Like, what's your secret? Like, we've never seen a speaker grow so fast. We've never seen a speaker sell so many books. What's your secret? And Paige, I was like, what are you talking about secret? Because, when you play pro sports, you're in this little cocoon, you're in this little bubble, and everyone has kind of like the same mentality, right? This elite, right. I want to be the best in the world. I don't believe in second place kind of approach. And so when I got into the business world, we started having success, and I realized that a lot of people don't think like I think. A lot of people don't execute, right? That's a big part about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's got big dreams, but hell, if you don't execute, it's not going to work. And you learn that in sports. It didn't matter if you're good or if you're smart or if you're athletic, you still have to execute, right? And so we coach small business owners who are frustrated and angry and depressed, And I'm like, dude, you don't execute. Like, what's your marketing strategy? What's your brand? How are you positioned in your industry? Who's your competition? Some basic, simple questions
Right.
they can't answer. And I'm like, you should be frustrated, right? Because you don't, it's like a woman having her hair tangled, right? If your hair's tangled, you're going to be frustrated until you cut it all off or get it detangled. And I think that, one thing I try to do is to help small business owners detangle their business and let it flow, right? Let it flow and be pretty and have success. Everybody wants to have success and live this dream life. I joke with my audience, and I just did something for Planet Fitness right out in Tucson. And I was like, when we stood up in front of the third grade and declared who we were going to be when we grew up, not one of us said average. Not one of us. The teacher said, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up, Paige? Walter, what do you want to be when you grow up? Not one of us stood in front of our class and said average. We made declarations. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have a handsome husband, a beautiful wife and kids. I'm going to live in a huge house. I'm going to travel the world. I mean, we all had these big dreams, and none of us, had a dream of average. And so we justify average, right? We can make excuses into average. And what I try to do is get people dreaming again. You want your own plane? Let's go. It's possible. There's people out here who have their own plane. They're human, right? If they can do it, you can do it. You want to have multiple homes, one here, one there. There's people who have 3 and 4 homes. They're human. You can do it. And so let's get to the fundamentals. Let's execute. Let's get our mind right. When I talk about the shark mindset, Paige, it begins and here ends right here. If your mind is not right, you're going to sabotage yourself, which is incredible. We talk about the imposter syndrome. Some people have heard of it. It's real. You cannot outproduce your self-image. You can't. I believed I was an NBA ball player. And so when I made it, my attitude was I'm supposed to be here, right? When I began to set financial goals in my business, I was like, I'm supposed to be here. And so when we coach entrepreneurs and professionals, we teach them how to be bold. We teach them how to be confident. But most importantly, we teach them how to master the fundamentals of business. So it's not lip service, right? Where you're actually executing some key business principles and fundamentals so you can have real success.
Yeah, I love that. And I think one thing came to mind that I like to say, and might be a little, some people it might not sit well, but I like to say you can't be anything you want. You can only be more of what you already are. And so when you're talking about kind of igniting these things within people, that's immediately what comes to mind is, just bringing out those non-average things when we're seeing when we're thinking of the third grade and what we wanted to be when we grew up, and we wanted to be amazing.
Well, Paige, here's a mistake a lot of people make, and I share this all over the world. You should never decide a career before you discover your gift. There's a whole lot of things I'm average at. Right? If you ask me to paint your house, it's going to be average. if you ask me to come and build some software, it's going to be well below average, right? So the moral of the story, you got to discover where your gifts are. I'm very fortunate. I discovered at a young age, I was really good in sports at a young age. And so I pursued sports at a high level because I discovered that I was one of those rare kids who had the size, the athletic ability, and the talent, and it made sense to pursue it, right? There's other kids in my school, they pursued, medical school, and now they're top doctors, I just golfed with a buddy of mine who's the top, it's an eye doctor, and they stick a needle in your eye for macular degeneration. There's some eye defect that if they discover it, early enough, you can keep your eyesight. Long story short, this dude makes millions of dollars by sticking people in the eye with a needle, right? and it affects people with diabetes. And it's long story short, this dude is successful and he loves sticking people in the eye with this needle, right? And we spent the whole day. He loves doing that. just as much as I love playing basketball. He loves doing that just as much as I love motivating people. And so he discovered its gift. He went to medical school and he didn't know what he wanted to do in medicine. And somehow he stumbled into becoming an ophthalmologist. And he's a very niche specialist, sticking people in the eye with needles. Right? So, moral of the story, you got to discover your gift of what are you passionate about and turn that into a business, right? And so to me, a lot of people are average because they might be going down the wrong lane and pursuing the wrong things, right?
Right.
What do you love? What are you gifted to do? And how can you take that hobby and turn it into a business and you'll never work a day in your life, right? I don't work. I don't have a job. I've stumbled into motivational speaking, business coaching. It's not work for me because I love doing it, right? And so I learned through basketball, Paige, you got to love what you do.
Yeah.
If you don't love what you do, you're going to be miserable. And you're not going to be able to do it all day, every day with passion and vigor, right? And so those are some success principles that we share with people that's real. So some people have to have those moments and those real conversations with themselves and be courageous and say, you know what, I need to switch. You're right, Walter. I need to make a shift, and it's fine. It's fine. Make your shift, figure out what you're blessed to do, gifted to do, and then pursue that with all you got, and then watch what happens.
Right. Yeah, that's great. I love all of that. And I think one of the things that's coming to mind that I hope is communicated to like the partners who, will be attending and hopefully will also be attending Icon. From what I'm hearing you say, and I talked to Laurel Langmeyer earlier this week about what she's going to be speaking about at Icon. A lot of what you guys are talking about is like going back to the beginning, finding those roots, and then, that's going to be giving you kind of success in the future and in your business. And I think that, man, a lot of times we skip over step one.
It's not rocket science. And I'm telling you, the one thing I'm going to talk about, and whoever shows up in that ballroom, they're going to get some success principles they'll never forget. And I talk about the shark mindset because, again, if you take your family to the beach, there's only one fish in that ocean you worry about, and that's the shark. Why? Because a shark is an impact player. And so basically, if you really think about it, the mindset is everything. If your mind's not right, you can forget about it. But if your mind is right, you're basically halfway there. So I learned that, and I'm gonna share my story, but just for example, I'm a best-selling author and I sit on corporate boards. But let me give you a little secret. I flunked out my first high school. And here's how. And I know the mindset affected me. I went to one of these top academic schools, and all these kids were so smart. And Paige, I honestly believed those kids were smarter than me. I really believed it. I would come home from school and I was school today. Mom, those kids are smarter than me. Oh my God, Mom, those kids are so smart. I was just mentally, I was like, I can't compete here. They're smarter than me. And I literally sabotaged myself because I believed in my own mind that these kids were smarter than me. I didn't even apply myself in the classroom. I didn't even try. I didn't even commit to trying to compete because I was thoroughly convinced these kids were smarter than me. And I sabotaged me because my mind was not right. I go back to our class reunion now. I transferred from the high school, but a lot of my friends still go there. And I go back to my class reunion now and I'm looking around and I was like, wait a minute. What was wrong with me?
Yeah.
Why did I believe these kids were they're smart. I don't want to take anything away from them. But why did I think they were just so much smarter than me? And now they all see me on YouTube and doing all this cool stuff, and they're very proud of me. And they never knew that insecurity I had, when I was there.
Yeah.
It was just like this little secret I carried inside of me that all these kids are just so much smarter than me. And so I can relate to someone who might struggle with confidence, because I've never struggled with confidence in sports, right? I've never struggled with confidence socially. My issue was academically around these smart kids. So I can relate to someone who might have a mental block that's literally crippling them and them not even being emotionally intelligent to really know where it's coming from. So I can relate with just about anybody. And people hear me speak and they're just like, dude, you are so real. I'm like, well, that should not be a compliment. Right?
That should be
But
the standard.
yeah, well, who's not real, right? And so I
Yeah.
guess I guess the compliment is I'm not afraid to be me.
Yeah.
And the truth is, there's nothing wrong with me. So I'm gonna share my failures, okay? I'm gonna share with that audience where I missed it. But here's the good news: I'm gonna share with my audience where I figured it out,
Yeah.
right? And when they leave that conference, they're gonna completely understand that if I think better, if I execute better, I'm gonna win better. I promise you that. Whoever's in that ballroom, you want to be a millionaire, you will be a millionaire. You're going to have all the how-tos on what you need to do to become a millionaire. Whatever your dream is, it doesn't really matter how big it is, right? It does not matter. You just need to know the how-tos. And I'll give you an example. When I was playing college basketball, I went to my coach and said, hey, coach, what do I need to do? I want to play in NBA. That's my dream. And I'm way over here, right? Like a million miles away. And basically, that was my question. Like, what do I need to do? And my college coach knew what I needed to do. He taught me what was necessary, and then I did what was necessary. So when I'm in front of this group, I'm telling you, I'm going to be fired up, and everyone in that ballroom is going to learn exactly what they need to do to grow a wildly successful business. And I'm living multiple dreams, right? The playing NBA was a dream come true.
Right.
But now I'm a Hall of Fame motivational speaker. There's only 200 alive. There's only like 200 people alive in the world that hold that designation. I'm also a best-selling author. My book publisher emailed us and said, hey, it's time to talk about another book. I'm like, my wife looked at me. She was like, dang, they called us. They approached us about another book.
Yeah, that's huge.
Because our book Swim, which is the shark mindset.
Yeah.
It's flying off the shelf. People are comparing it to 7 Habits, Stephen Covey. It's flying off the shelf. And I'm like, we're just focused on our other stuff and just executing. And they're like, look, dude, it's time for another book. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Let's talk about another book. So we just
Let's talk about that advance.
Well, we're going to talk about that too. And so I believe in coaching. And so what I'm going to do, Mark Victor Hansen from Chicken Soup for Your Soul. Listen, people. This is, you cannot reach your potential without a coach. Stop trying to do it on your own. Stop trying to do it by yourself. And that's why you're frustrated. That's why you're stagnant. That's why you're not going anywhere. Hell, think about it. January 1, health clubs are jam-packed, right? Everybody's running to Planet Fitness and Hollywood Fitness. And January 1, right? Everybody is jam-packed. What happens by March 1st? Those health clubs are empty. They're back to normal numbers. Why? Because people think getting a membership to the gym is enough. No, it's not. You need a membership to the gym. But if you really want to get that result, go get your personal trainer. If you really want to get a result, go get your personal coach. If you think about it, what is Jenny Craig? She's a freaking coach, right? What does Weight Watchers do? They're coaches that hold you accountable. So as an athlete, Paige, one thing that I know without a shadow of a doubt, I love myself so much. I need someone else to push me, to make me hurt, to do what I want to do. Right? Because sometimes you just don't have enough in you to do it yourself. Sometimes you just need a coach to push you, coach to hold you accountable, coach to make sure you don't quit. You need a coach that just can keep your mindset right. And I'm telling you, as an athlete, I'm telling you, you will never hear about a great player who did not have a great coach.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the key fundamentals of life that a lot of people outside of sports don't really get. I get it completely. I always had coaches. I always had great coaches, and I would be nothing without my coaches. You hear me? I would be absolutely nothing. And so since I got a chance to get exposed to great coaches, I saw what they did for me. I've committed myself to coaching. They say, look, man, I'll become that guy for you, right? If you need someone to be your coach, I'll become your coach, because people did it for me, and I'll do it for you. So my wife and I built a training and development company 20 years ago. And man, we coach casinos, we coach franchises, we coach, man, and people are getting their results. And we have a coaching program for speakers, and people are like, wow, like, I just came off the street, I've never spoken before, and I'm on my verge of making more money doing this than I do in my, are you? And I'm like, look, hey, you follow directions. You execute it, right? And so to me as a coach, you know what's possible if that person buys in and if that person executes. But a lot of people, if that mind's not right, Paige, if that mind's not right, trust me, they're going to sabotage themselves and then justify it. You know, why did I struggle with my first high school? Those kids are smarter than me, Mom. Nothing I can do about it. Mom, hey, I'm doing the best I can, Mom. Those kids are smarter than me. Now looking back on it, they weren't smarter than me. I just believed they were. And so think about all of the people who are going to be at PartnerCon, the PCon.
Yeah.
We got to get their mind right. We got to get, because here's the truth. Chaos is a ladder, right? So right now, our world is chaotic. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Is COVID just going to pass through? Is this just going to be here? Is cryptocurrency, Bitcoin? What is Russia taking over China? People are like, oh my God, who's going to be the next president? People are really, we're living through a time none of us ever thought. We're living through like a bad movie almost, right?
Yeah.
So it's created so much chaos. None of us knows what's really going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years. Here's the good news. If we take advantage of the chaos, stay calm, take a deep breath. Let's execute, right? Let's just execute right now. Let's get a game plan and let's just run the freaking play. Okay, let's just run the play. And that's what you do in sports. When the coach calls a timeout, hey guys, you know what? We're on the road. The crowd is hostile. They're yelling at you. They're throwing stuff at us. Just take a deep breath. If remember what we worked on in practice, let's execute. Let's build the brand. Let's make some sales calls. Let's close some deals. Let's deliver a great product, deliver a great service, follow up, ask for the referrals. Let's just keep executing, guys. Let's just keep executing. And in the end, we're going to win. And that's what coaches are able to do. Calm you, build your confidence, and make sure you keep executing. And I'm telling you, I saw it play out in sports. The first thing I did in business, I got coached. And people look at me and say, wow, you've done amazing things. I'm like, dude, get a coach, man. Trust me.
Right.
Don't put me up on this pedestal, right? Go get you a freaking coach, right? Because you cannot, I'm going to say it again. If I didn't learn anything from my sports career, and this is where whether I play sports or not shouldn't matter to anybody. If you're going to reach your potential, you got to have a coach. It's just, you can be good without a coach, but if you want to be great, right? If you want to, you use toothpaste. I like to get every drop out of that toothpaste tube. I'm the guy that rolls it up and I squeeze it to the end, right? I want every ounce of toothpaste that's inside that toothpaste tube. And that's the same thing I want to do with people and their potential. Everything inside of a business owner, everything inside of your partner, I'm coming to get it out. I want every ounce. If you should be a millionaire, I want to get it out of you. If you should be a multimillionaire, I need to get it out of you. And so that's what we do as coaches. We get every morsel, every ounce, every form of potential that our people have inside of them. We come to get it out of you. And that's my job as a coach now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think too that, coaches just can give you a perspective, because sometimes, business owners can be so in it and so in the weeds that I just think of horses and they have their blinders on, right? And they're only focusing on what's ahead. Sometimes, having a coach can broaden that breadth of ideas and of knowledge. I mean, I'm writing a book right now, and I got to a point where I was like, I don't know, like I've written all I can, but I know it's not done yet. And I mean, I'm not making any money from it yet, but I went and I hired a writing coach, and she read through my work and was like, here's what you're missing. And I spent the next few months working on that chunk because it was missing. And she was able to give me a perspective on it that I wasn't seeing because I was too in it.
That coaches have a way of being able to help pull what's in you out of you. Yeah. Right. And you can't, you're too close to it, right? It's you, right? And so we all have blind spots, right? And so a coach has the ability to understand where you are and know where you're trying to be, and in spite of you, help you get there, right? And I'll give you a little tip, because I'm a coach, I can't help it. People, let me tell you something, Paige, and anyone at home listening, people don't really buy your book, they buy your title. Okay, so I tell anyone when I coach them on book writing, come up with your title first. If you go into a bookstore, You buy the title. The title is what speaks to you. The title is what makes you pick up the book. So if you go to Barnes and Noble, anywhere, if the title doesn't speak to you, you're not going to touch it. And if you don't touch it, you're not going to buy it. So my first book, we've sold 60,000 copies. This title was All Butts Stink. How to Live Your Best Life and Eliminate Excuses. So people saw the title, All Butts Stink, and they just laugh like it's a play on words. And people say, well, how'd you come up with it? I was like, I don't know. I just created it because I've been taught that people buy your title. So I wanted the title that grabs people's attention. And people never forget that. All butts stink. Every time you hear the word but, everything after it is an excuse. Think about kids. Did you brush your teeth? No, but. Did you make your bed? No, but. What, did you finish your homework? No, but. So before you make an excuse, you gotta use the word but. It's like impossible to make an excuse and not include the word. You can hear people talk when you hear the word but, for the next 10 seconds, don't even listen.
Yeah.
Because it's an excuse, right? And so I teach leaders how to listen. Like, look, when you hear the word but, just eliminate the next 10 seconds, okay? Because that's their excuse. But now you know what they're trying to believe themselves as to why they're not getting things done. So accountability is such a big word right now, because until you become accountable, those butts are going to get in your way, right? So all butts stink. We got to get rid of that word but, and it'll help you alone. Eliminating the word but will help you get much closer to your dreams.
Yeah, and those really good coaches, they'll hold you to it too in terms of accountability and all of that good stuff.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Well, we have lots of love in the comments here. Lots of people loving and excited for what you're going to be sharing at PCon. So to wrap us up here, I wanted to give our audience just like a little sneak peek, not necessarily of your talk, but a little bit of Walter wisdom, because we're almost to the end of the year. We're less than 90 days to the end of the year. And like you were talking about, that January 1st is a lot, of reset for some people. So as we go to close out the year, what is one thing that our partners could do either in their businesses or for their clients that will help them finish strong?
Well, I'm gonna give you two.
Okay.
You just gave it to me, and I'm gonna give you what athletes do. You got to finish strong, right? And so in basketball, the game is won in the fourth quarter. The first three quarters are important, but the game is won and lost in the fourth quarter. So you got to execute when you're tired. You got to execute when you're fatigued, and you got to finish this year strong. And here's why. We all are in a momentum business, right? And so how you exit 2021 is going to dictate how you enter into 2022. So what I've been doing right now, honestly, to be totally transparent, I've been working on big deals. I've been working on game-changing, life-changing deals. Why not? Why not swing for the fence? You're going to play baseball. Why not try to hit a home run? If you hit a home run, people remember you when you hit a lot of home runs. So what I decided to do here in October, man, I'm gonna spend a lot of energy trying to land some big fish, doing some big stuff that can change my life in 2022. But here's another secret that people never think about. In pro sports, we have what we call an off season. And an off season is when you don't work in your business. Guess what? You work on your business. Here's the truth. I know the data. Most small business owners are completely fried.
Right.
I'm gonna say it again. Most small business owners are completely fried, and they're addicted to busy. They wake up and they stay busy, and it's like a drug, right? I'm busy all day, I'm working hard, and I'm a small business owner, and I'm working hard, I'm busy all day. But hell, you're not making progress, right? So what we do in sports, we take what we call an off season, where you don't work in your business, you work on your business, and you have like those brutal conversations, right? So for example, when I was in college, I sat down with my coach and I said, Coach, what do I need to do to play in NBA? And he was like, son, by NBA standards, you can't run, you can't jump, you can't dribble, you can't shoot, and you can't rebound by NBA standards. And I was like, damn. Coach, I got a lot of work to do, right? So that off season, what did I work on? All the weaknesses he shared, my dribbling, my rebound, my shooting. And I came back the next year, most improved player. I didn't work in my business. I worked on my business. So I want everyone just to take a moment and just ask yourself an honest question. What's your biggest weakness right now? I know you're wearing a bunch of hats. I know you got a lot going on. I know you're tired. I know you're fatigued. I know you're burnt out, right? But what are your weaknesses right now? Is it your sales culture? Sales? Walter, I don't have a sales force. Well, let me tell you something. Nothing happens until something is sold. If you start selling in 2022, you can make all your problems go away, right? And so a lot of small business owners don't even sell. They don't even have a sales culture. They don't have a sales mentality. They sit there and hit their email, refresh, and just hope something magically appears in their email box. No, you got to sell. So is it your sales? Or maybe it's your marketing. Maybe you need to come out to Pecan and hell, work on your marketing. What is your brand? My wife is our number one coach. She coached a realtor the other day, and my wife looked at her marketing materials, and she was like, "Miss, these are the boringest marketing materials I'd ever seen. You would never stand out. Nobody would ever notice this." And the lady goes, "I know." Well, if you know, why are they your marketing material? That was her comment. I know. Yep. So if you knew your marketing wasn't good, why are you still using it? She literally agreed with me. I know it's not good. Fix it. Fix it. So in sports, you can't allow these weaknesses to just hang on you if you think you're going to play in the NBA. You are motivated to turn these weaknesses into strengths because you understand if I don't improve in these areas, I'm not going to make it. And so small business owners accept and tolerate weaknesses instead of saying, you know what, Walter, you're right. I need to take a little break between Thanksgiving and New Year. I call it the turkey coma, right? We're focused on presents and we focus on sweet potato pie and pumpkin pie. And we and eggnog, and we get the little days, between Thanksgiving and the New Year. Maybe that's a good chance for you to take an off season and basically say, you know what? I don't want to work in my business. I want to work on my business. We have a whole training program that we take small business owners through called the off season. And my tagline is, pro athletes have an off season. Why not you? How do you think I got to bench press 300 pounds? How do you think I got in the best shape? How did you look at my body and see a six pack? Hell, I had an off season where it was completely devoted to almost like a boot camp environment where you turn that weakness into a strength. Business owners are so tired, fatigued, and fried. Many are just surviving and just working hard instead of making progress. So sometimes you got to slow down and speed up. Sometimes you have to hop off the treadmill. Sometimes you have to stop being addicted to busy, thinking that you're making progress. If your business has not progressed in the last 3 years, the last 5 years, the last year, something's wrong, okay? You can go out in your yard and you look at a tree, the tree grew. And if the tree's not growing, we know something's wrong, right? Well, it's not enough sun.
Can you see out my window? Because I do actually have a dead tree right there.
Well, let's work that analogy. A business is just like a tree. You have to nurture it. So is that tree getting enough water? Is that tree getting too much water? Is the tree getting enough sun? Not enough sun. I guarantee you, when you bought the tree, they gave you the perfect conditions for that tree. And if we don't follow the conditions, for example, I just planted 2 lime trees in my yard. They're thriving. This lime tree has got limes everywhere. But I read the instructions. It says full sun, and it needs to have full drainage. The roots do not like to sit in water. Okay. Right. So as long as I get full sun, and as long as I make sure my lime trees don't sit in water, they thrive. Now, I had some willow trees in my house in Minnesota. They love water. They can't get too much water. Okay, cool. So I got to put these willow trees in a slightly different environment than these lime trees. And so if you think about a business, hell, if something's not working, why not? Is it your marketing? Is it your sales? Is it your brand? What's your positioning, right? People like things that are very high quality. People like things that are great value. Some people buy stuff that's cheap, right? At some point, you got to figure out, okay, what lane do I fit in, right? Am I a Lexus, a Bentley, or a Hyundai? You know, there's customer and business at all levels. Am I going to be Walmart or am I Nordstrom? Some business owners don't even get that concept. So you're just like in no man's land. You don't fit in either category. So you're not like high end. You're not cheap. You're not a value. No wonder you don't get busy. Where do you fit, dude? So we coach our people, and Paige, we coach in a real kind of way. I'm from Chicago, right? So I don't know how to sugarcoat it. I don't know how to, and neither does my wife, but we get results. It's like, you know, like a good trainer. Like, dude, get up. Let's one more rep. Stop being lazy. Why are you late? Let's get to work. It's a 45-minute workout. Let's work out for 45 minutes and go home. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you Wednesday. Let's get to work. What do we need to work on? You came to me. You want some goals. You want to be a millionaire. You're trying to grow your business. Let's get to work. My job as a coach is to push you, to drive you, to motivate you, to inspire you, but most importantly, give you the how-tos. And once you figure out the gaps, let's take an off season. Let's turn that weakness into a strength so you can go on and live your dreams. I'm living my dreams, okay? I'm living my dreams. And now I'm devoted to helping other small business owners and entrepreneurs live their dreams through coaching. And once you have a good coach, you know it because you're going to start getting results pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Walter. All of that was really great. And you guys get even more of that at PCon. And it's really going to be great. Remember, November 1st through the 3rd, hopefully Matt or Kim or Devlin can drop a link in the chat. I see you guys commenting, drop a link in the chat to actually go and buy your tickets. You guys, there's less than a month left. And you get to hear all the genius that is Walter Bond and even more speakers. So thank you, Walter. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you in November.
All right. See you guys soon.